First, inflation refers to a general increase in the prices of goods and services within an economy over a specific period, usually a year. Imagine it like this: with inflation, the same amount of money buys you less stuff over time. Here's a breakdown of what inflation means. 1. Price increase, when it means prices go up. This applies to a broad basket of goods and services, not just individual items. 2. Reduced purchasing power, as a result of price increases, your money buys less. $1 today won't buy the same things $1 did a year ago due to inflation. 3. Measured as a percentage, inflation is typically expressed as a percentage change over a specific period, often annually. Inflation can be driven by two main forces, those are demand pull and cost push. Demand pull inflation occurs when there's too much money chasing too few goods. Here's the breakdown. 1. Increased money supply. If a government or central bank injects a larger amount of money into the economy, it can lead to people having more cash to spend. 2. Rising demand. With more money in circulation, consumers tend to spend more, which increases demand for goods and services. 3. Price hikes. If demand outpaces supply, businesses can raise prices to meet the higher demand. This ultimately leads to inflation. Cost push inflation. This happens when the cost of production for businesses increases. Here's how it works. 1. Higher input costs. Businesses face rising costs for raw materials, labor, or other factors needed to produce goods and services. 2. Shrinking profit margins. To maintain profitability, businesses may have to raise prices to offset the increased production costs. 3. Price increases across the board. As businesses raise prices, the cost of goods and services goes up for consumers, leading to inflation. Additional factors. Supply chain disruptions. If there are disruptions in the supply chain, such as due to natural disasters or political unrest, it can limit the availability of goods, leading to price increases. Wage growth. While rising wages can be a positive sign, if wages increase faster than productivity, it can also contribute to inflation. Inflation expectations. If consumers and businesses anticipate future inflation, they may adjust their behavior. For instance, consumers might buy more now before prices go up further, leading to higher demand and potentially accelerating inflation. Information on inflation rates can change quickly. However, based on recent data from sources like the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and Forbes, here are 5 countries currently experiencing high inflation. 1. Venezuela. Venezuela continues to grapple with hyperinflation, with estimates suggesting rates exceeding 189% in 2023. This is a continuation of a long-standing economic crisis in the country. 2. Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe faces a significant inflation problem, with rates around 130% in 2023. This is attributed to a combination of factors, including a long-standing economic crisis and sanctions. 3. Argentina. Argentina is another South American nation battling high inflation. Estimates suggest rates hovering around 100% in 2023. 4. Sudan. Sudan's inflation rate remains elevated, with figures around 71% reported in 2023. The country's economic situation is complex, with factors like political instability contributing to the inflation issue. 5. Turkey. Turkey has also seen a rise in inflation, with rates reaching around 64% in 2023. The weakening Turkish lira and global economic factors are contributing to the situation. Inflation doesn't necessarily impact all goods and services equally. Here's a breakdown of how inflation can affect different categories. Generally more affected. Energy. Fuel costs, like gasoline and natural gas, are often susceptible to inflation due to factors like global oil prices, supply chain disruptions, and taxes. Housing. Housing costs, including rent and building materials, tend to be sensitive to inflation. Rising inflation can push these costs upwards. Food prices can fluctuate due to factors like weather, crop yields, and global supply chains. Inflation can exacerbate these fluctuations and lead to higher grocery bills. Durable goods. While not always the case, durable goods like appliances and electronics might see price increases due to rising production costs or supply chain issues. Potentially less affected. Services. The cost of services can be less volatile than goods in the short term. However, over time, inflation can still push service costs upwards as wages and other business expenses rise. Healthcare. Healthcare costs are often influenced by factors like technology advancements and government regulations. While inflation can play a role, it might not be the most significant driver of price increases. 1. The Dutch tulip mania, 1630s. This isn't your grandma's garden story. In 17th century Holland, tulip bulbs became a status symbol, with prices soaring to astronomical levels. A single bulb could cost more than a house. This speculative bubble eventually burst, leaving many financially ruined. It's a cautionary tale of inflation driven by irrational exuberance. 2. The Roman denarius debacle, 2nd century BC. The Roman Empire wasn't just good at gladiatorial combat. They also experimented with money printing. To finance wars, they reduced the silver content of their denarius coin. This led to inflation, making everyday items like bread more expensive. It serves as a historical reminder of the dangers of manipulating currency. 3. The wheelbarrow money of Germany, 1920s. Imagine carrying a wheelbarrow full of cash just to buy a loaf of bread. That was the reality in Weimar Germany after World War I. Hyperinflation spiraled out of control, rendering their currency worthless. People resorted to bartering basic necessities. This story emphasizes the devastating social and economic consequences of hyperinflation. 4. The pizza index in Argentina, present day. Forget the stock market. In Argentina, some use the price of a classic margarita pizza as a gauge of inflation. This might sound quirky, but it reflects how rising food costs impact ordinary people. It highlights the real-world impact of inflation on everyday life. 5. The Bitcoin roller coaster, 2009. Present cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are a new frontier in finance. But they're also prone to wild price swings. Bitcoin's value has fluctuated dramatically, experiencing periods of both massive inflation and deflation. This story represents the unique challenges and opportunities presented by digital currencies in a world grappling with inflation. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking around. Inflation can be a complex topic, but hopefully this video helped shed some light on it. In the comments below, let me know what surprised you most about inflation or what questions you still have. Inflation is constantly evolving, so if you want to stay updated on the latest trends, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video.